Hi, this is technology expert Reginald Andre, and this message is to property managers, community association managers, or if you manage multifamily buildings. This is a story about a condominium that I was at today in Brickell, and it was a very interesting case because a lady came in and she said that she was the housekeeper of a unit owner in unit 908. Mr. Fox. And she said that she was the housekeeper and that she did not have the keys, but Mr. Fox emailed the front desk to provide access to his unit as he was traveling. Now, as you know, especially in South Florida, a lot of these luxury buildings, you want to go over and beyond. You have concierge, you have front desk, they're saying my pleasure, whatever you have to do to make sure that the residents are comfortable and you are going over and beyond with the residents. This is what these condominiums do, and this is the job of the front desk. This is the job of the concierge, of the security. So the front desk person went ahead and checked her computer, and lo and behold, there was an email from Mr. Fox. And his email, for example, I'm going to make up his email, not to put his email out there, but let's just say it was fox at brand.com. Fox at brand.com. And there was an email that says my housekeeper's coming in, I'm traveling, but I need my home clean for the holidays. And what then happened was astonishing. The front desk then called security and said, we have a lockout for unit 908, please come, the housekeeper's here waiting. And a few minutes later, the security guard came in and escorted this housekeeper to the unit to go ahead and clean the room. But I couldn't believe it. You mean to tell me all someone had to do was email the front desk, dress up as a housekeeper, and no other verification, and this housekeeper was then able to go into a multi-million-dollar condominium and essentially get into this person's home. Now, luckily, this was a legit housekeeper. You know, there was no ill intentions. But as I was at the front desk and I'm looking at the email and I'm saying, wow, these properties, they don't know that all a hacker has to do, all a bad guy has to do is just buy a domain. And let's just say they know that Mr. Fox owns a unit. You can check county records. County records is going to tell you who owns the unit and what's their name and what's the unit number. From there, all you most likely have to do is go on LinkedIn. You can just go a Google search, and you're going to see that Mr. Fox is an executive at a business, and this is his email address. It's fox at brand.com. And all now the hacker has to do is buy a domain. And he can buy a domain that's called brand.net, brand, BRAND, BRAVD, anything to basically trick the person at the front desk or the property manager or the person that's in charge to make them think that this is actually Mr. Fox and he's emailing it like he always emails, brand.com, and it's okay to let this person up into the unit. And something like this actually just happened to also GoDaddy. GoDaddy is the hosting company, and GoDaddy, if you look in the news, and I'll put the link below, GoDaddy last week, exact same thing happened. Someone called GoDaddy. They were able to, via public records, they were able to see the domain is hosted with GoDaddy. They were then able to figure out what the security questions were, and GoDaddy gave them access to the email, gave them access to the domain. And just like that, a hacker was able to access this company's information. So property managers, you have to do better. You have to train your employees better. You're spending so much money a year on physical security, such as cameras, such as actual security guards. You have all of these policies in place, but at the end of the day, if your staff is not trained and if you don't have the right policies and procedures, it doesn't matter what type of security you have. Being able to just have a resident give access to someone that they don't know and they just trusted via an email is you're just spelling trouble, because at the end, more than likely, in this case, if it was a real scenario where this housekeeper was really a thief, I'm pretty sure that the association would have been liable. So here's a couple of things that you can do for your association, and of course, check this with your attorneys to make sure that this is all legal and everything like that. But the first thing that you can do is that you can have a what is called two-step verification for your residents. So if a resident requires a lockout, what you can do is have them pre-fill out a form where there is a code. And with this code, if a resident were to call or if a resident were to email, what would then happen is, let's just say Mr. Fox, he did need a housekeeper to come and he was traveling and he was not home. Then Mr. Fox would email the front desk saying, okay, or email the manager. And then from there, front desk or manager would call Mr. Fox and says, I received, they would call the number on file. So now that takes the bad guy out of the equation, because of course the bad guy is not going to have Mr. Fox's phone number. And then from there, they would then say, hey, Mr. Fox, we received your email. Please give us the 6-digit code that you have on file. And then Mr. Fox would either be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Don't let anybody in my apartment. Or Mr. Fox would be, okay, here's the code. And this could happen in so much other ways. I've been on Fisher Island. I've seen a system like that they have. Where it's a two-form authentication type of setup where they, of course, with Fisher Island, you have residents and most likely this is their third and fourth homes, and they just don't accept a phone call to the guard to allow someone into the island. They have multiple steps and multiple verification systems to make sure that nobody can just go on the island. So just think about that and just always be one step ahead of the bad guy. And I hope that you enjoyed this video, and everything that we do is free of charge. So please go ahead and like and subscribe so that way you can be informed next time we go live. And for the month of November, we are talking about condominiums and property managers and HOAs and multifamily. So go ahead and like and subscribe and share this with team members so that they can be aware and not be the one next on the news because something like this was happening at their community. Thank you.